probably about a month or two later, you literally interviewed our son.
Oh. What's your son?
Capital G.
Capital G Lozano. Hello, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, wow, that was terrible. I knew that.
Coming to you from 125 Carver in Waco, Texas, it's the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions are fun, real, and at times very uncomfortable. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to like and subscribe, and please ring the bell. Now, here are your hosts, Pastor Selo and Pastor Mia.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday.
Good morning. What's up, guys?
It's not only New Shirt Wednesday, it's New Guest Wednesday, too. Hey.
What's up?
They said no rules.
No rules.
And I'm in the house of God, but there was that pastor that one time, so it's okay.
Love it. So you guys know this is our 200th episode. Yay! This is so exciting. And it is New Shirt Wednesday, so you can't really see it as good, but you see Jesus peeping out there right there. Guys, he's like, y'all ready for my birthday? If you're not ready for Christmas, then I'm going to tell you what my daughter says. Christmas comes the same time every year. You should have already been done, already been wrapped, and already been finalized. Let's not talk about myself, okay? I'm talking about everybody else. So anyway, welcome to the podcast. This is the winner of the WacoAwards Podcast. Podcast of the year.
Thank you, guys.
Tell us about your podcast and who you are.
Well, I'm Andrew G, and I run a podcast called The Public Affair, and it was, in fact, just a couple days ago, it won the Podcast of the Year right here in Waco. So thank you to everybody who voted. First of all, I just want to use that opportunity to say so. And my podcast is a podcast that highlights everybody from the entrepreneur to the underdog. In the beginning, it started off as me finding the hottest person on Facebook and saying, hey, come on my show. And then it turned into something more. And so, so I really, it's hard to say what the show is actually about. You just have to subscribe on youtube.com/thepublicaffair and take a look for yourself, but just keep it between us.
And how many episodes?
So right now, today is...
Or season?
So I don't do seasons.
Okay.
Which everybody says I should, but then if I listen to what everybody says, it wouldn't be a successful
Right, there you go.
So as of today is a Monday that we're recording, so I just released episode 76 with some old radio colleagues of mine, DJ Junie and DJ Mas Loco. It is out right now. It is controversial. It's funny. I love it. It's lit. They're hot. They got me super lit on the show, Buchanans. I know y'all know a thing or two about that. In the 80s. And so that episode is out now. And as of this week, I have over 80 episodes recorded.
Wow.
So, I try to stay ahead of the game. Yeah, just in case you get sick, you need a break. You know, the rules on my show is that when your phone rings, you have to pick it up side piece or not.
No, I'm just kidding.
So as of right now, episode 76 is out today.
Oh, nice.
And then episode 77, what time does this come out? What time do you guys?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, like evening?
No, morning, 5
Wednesday
a.m.
morning.
5
Oh,
a.m.
okay. So make sure 5 a.m. Okay. So make sure you log on to my Facebook page at The Public Affair to see who my next guest is going to be, and it's been somebody I've been waiting for a really long time.
Wow.
He's pretty. I would say he's well known to most people in the community, and somebody I had basically had to beg, and like most of the straight men in my life, he made me wait. But he came on and we recorded a really great episode, and I'm excited to let everybody know who it finally is. I have this list of people who I really want on the show, and like 3 of them still live here in town.
Yay.
And then one of them, of course, is Frankie J, the singer from back in the day.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's
That'll be great then.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited.
know that we have people always ask us, how can we get on? We're like, just tell us. It's not like we love guests, but at the same time, we record too early for them, so people are like, you want me to get up at what time? You want me to be there? And we're like, it's fine. We're like, you would get up for donuts, and you get up to go.
4 in the morning to go to the gym, and I actually
There you go.
just got, I think this new side piece who said they can only meet in the mornings, and I was really happy about that, because, I feel like if it's in the morning, it's less prone to rob me, because the sun is coming out. There was that time, it was really late at night, and then my Nintendo went missing.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. And so
Mornings only.
I'm excited to try this new endeavor.
Yeah,
we'll see how that works.
What gym do you go to?
So right now I'm working out at Train Waco.
Okay.
I was at Soko Soccer Academy for a very long time. They're actually the people who initiated my weight loss journey.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Dominic Gutierrez and the other trainers that are out there and that were with Soko Soccer Academy. And he had to take a break from the gym aspect of it, and he's focusing more on the soccer skills training aspect of it. So we all stopped working out there, and the majority of us moved to Train Waco. So that's where I'm at now. Every morning at 5 a.m.
So there you go.
Yes.
You can watch the podcast Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday and join you.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's great too because like at Soko I was working out with all my friends. So it's not like they're all they're hot. But like I'm not gonna sleep with my friends. And now at Train, like I have my eye on one person over there. You know what I mean? And I don't know, they noticed that I noticed them and we're kind of like it's like in the movies where you're trying to make it sexy and it's
I'm just sweating.
Well, I look my worst at the gym. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's where I'm working out now.
Wow. Yeah. Well, cool. We don't make it to the gym. Well, we do.
I do. I drive by all the time.
That's right. We drive by all the time.
You know what? The hardest part, I always say, because we're coming up to the new year. And everybody wants to wait to the new year. And I'm not looking forward to see how packed the gym is going to be with everybody.
New year,
New Year's resolution. No. It is not something that you do that way. I literally woke up out of bed and I was like, I guess I'll go to the gym. You know what I mean? And then from there on, it became a real lifestyle change for me. And I have to do it every day now. I do it 5 days a week.
Good.
And if I don't do it, I feel like I'm missing something. Do you know what I mean?
FOMO. But it's not
weird.
FOMO. It's actually
it's something else.
FOGO. You know? I forgot something at the gym. I don't know.
In the morning. And so, it's definitely become a lifestyle. And a big shout out, a lot of people have a stigma about the gym where they feel like they're going to be judged. And I was the fattest person that started working out. So I was almost 300 pounds.
Really?
I was almost, look at me now, right?
I was like, what?
Yeah, I was almost pushing 300 pounds when I started going, and nobody there judged me. They made it very welcoming, and they're all athletes. They've been athletes their whole life, and they're all doing the box jumps and the push-ups and the sit-ups and it's cartwheels and backflips, and I'm over there barely can walk my ass up the stepping thing. You know what I mean? But now, like I said, it's become a whole lifestyle, and working out has definitely become something I really enjoy. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Not only on your win, but on your weight loss.
How long did it take you to lose weight? Where you at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I started working out. It was a little bit over a year ago.
Oh, okay.
And so since then, I've lost over 55 pounds.
Wow.
Over, so I have to do the math.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's all proper diet and exercise. Don't be doing all this extra. Excuse me.
And
God.
You're good.
Having big red on top of it.
Man.
Everybody always wants to find the fast way out, and now it's become annoying to me. It's become so what's your secret? There is no secret. Get your ass up. You know what show drives me crazy now is My 600-Pound Life.
I like that show.
I like it too. It's entertaining, but Jesus, MFF. I don't understand how I've become that person. What the hell did you do to yourself? I knew at 300 pounds, I was like, I gotta do something.
Let me tell you what I refer it to all the time. You ever seen WALL-E?
No. Is that the robot?
Yeah, the little trash can robot.
Yeah, I know of
Okay,
WALL-E,
well, in the show, they have to leave Earth because it's all messed up now. And so they're in space and they're on this ship. And instead of walking everywhere, they let them ride these little hover things everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And they end up getting really large and they don't know how to walk because they've been on these hover things forever. Right. And I'm just like, you really should get out of there and walk because that might help you.
But that's how it is. And, it's really made me see everything from a different perspective. And in the beginning, I was very careful because you have to change your eating habits too. So I do not eat fast food. Well, excuse me, I did have some Raising Cane's today for lunch. But so I don't eat the French fries and I get the naked tenders. Oh. 2 coleslaws. You know what I mean? Because everybody thinks you should just eat salads, but then that's not the case because you have to eat a lot of protein and there's no salad in protein except salad. You know what I mean? So it's this whole thing, and people really have this misconceived idea on what to do, on how to lose weight. And I was really grateful that Soko Soccer Academy really led me in the right direction. And even though none of us work out there now, I really feel like it was a good opportunity for me. Yeah, now I know what I'm doing.
Good.
You know what I mean?
So they work with you in your diet and everything, or just?
I mean, they didn't write out a meal plan for me, but I thought I had the right answers. So I would work out with shout out to Isaac Carrillo in the evenings when I started, and so he would be like every evening, like, what are you having for dinner tonight? Like, what are you having for dinner? And I'm like, a salad, because I thought that was the right answer. He goes, what is your protein? Like, why are you not eating chicken? And what did you eat all day today? And so, you didn't eat. You're not supposed to not eat shit. You know what I mean? So, they really, really, really taught me, a proper way to maintain a healthy diet, and you know the importance of a cheat day. And these carbs are good for you, and these carbs are bad for you, and don't just cut out carbs. Like so, it's been really great.
Let me tell you this: I do know about the keto because my husband is keto friendly.
Okay.
We won't talk about what that means because you know he says I'm keto sometimes and keto not when I don't want to be. I'm like, no, you're either keto or you're not.
I call it keto light.
Keto light.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my bad.
That's cute.
But I have salsa, a salsa business, and I'm launching a food truck, which everybody knows that I've been trying for January, me and my son-in-law, and I tell everybody about my salsa, and I'm like, listen, it's keto friendly as long as you don't eat the chips. You can eat the avocado dip. It doesn't have any tomatoes, no onions. But it's not fattening. It's the good fat for you. So.
Yeah. A lot of people just don't understand, I guess, like the proper way to do everything. Yeah. But you know, I encourage just go to a gym, and you can't be lazy. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it really is. Our daughter is a gym rat. Oh, wait, is that what they call him? A gym rat?
I guess. I don't know. I just know that there's hot guys at my gym, and so that motivates me to get up and go every morning because one day they'll notice. So, yeah.
She goes. She's been.
A gym junkie?
Yeah.
Is
Gym
that
junkie.
what she calls
That's what it's called.
Yeah, gym junkie.
Aren't you proud of her, though? She's not a slouchy fat person.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, and not to fat shame it. Listen, I was right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I was right there, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even
She wasn't
much.
even big at all. She's real small.
Okay.
As a matter of fact,
is she the one that messaged me?
Yeah,
Yes.
She's the one? Okay, got you.
Yeah, she works
I
out
have tons of
all
people
the
that message me now. So it's like, you know, so it's cute. You guys were saying how, you know, a lot of people message you as far as how to be a guest on the show. Like, everybody wants, like, I've had so many people request to pay me to be on the public affair.
Nice.
Which I don't do. I don't do because sometimes you can't buy good my content's like authentic. You know what I mean?
So is ours.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah.
can't give you $300 to be a caricature of myself at Hogwarts. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. That's not what I haven't done that for over 77 episodes, and I'm not going to start now.
Yeah, that's
So, you know what I mean?
That's us.
There you go.
we've been going for 200 episodes, and people that we have on, we don't just have like anybody on. If somebody's, hey man, what do you get on? Well, come on.
Right.
You want to come on?
Yeah,
come on.
it's
authentic. It's not.
Right.
We don't. How can you say it? I don't know how to say it except for we don't really like name drop and be like, hey, we have so and so on. We really. Our podcast is...
What is up with my phone? Yeah.
I don't know. You better make her answer.
No, it's my alarm.
What's going on in Riverside? I better join this church.
It's my 5:30 alarm.
We have
I'm up.
Primarily most of our podcast is just her and I.
Oh, gotcha.
We just we have guests every once in a while, so it's very, very random that we have guests.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Cause we just like I'm gonna pull one out on you real quick.
Go ahead, do it. I've had that happen 100 times. It's fine.
You actually came across my feed, and I was like, man, let me check this out. I forget who it was that you interviewed, and I started following you. I think I sent you a friend request on Facebook, and then I started watching your podcast, and then probably about a month or two later, you literally interviewed our son.
Oh, what's your son?
Capital G.
Capital G Lozano. Hello, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, wow, that was terrible. I knew that. I've been at work all day. Can I just say I love your son? I want to say this about your son. I do. Because his speech is so different. Like, the way he talks, I think, and I told him this, I think people will think he's weird, but I feel like that's what makes him such a great rapper. Because he's very great, like, his rap music wasn't all about, like, women's body parts and getting high. Like, it was, like, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, what is this? Okay, like, I can get into this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's such a talented young kid, and I really, really enjoyed having Cap G on my show.
Yeah.
I'm meeting him. He's so kind.
He usually says, or in one of his songs, he says about him, his mind being real old.
Yeah.
And that's really because he was so young. He was 3 when he was submerged into the hip-hop, the world of hip-hop culture at 3, jumped out of a bag and started breakdancing, you know. So, and shout out to the guys who did that because they know they raised him.
Right.
And he went to all their shows and danced with them. And then I think just by immersing himself in that and being with us all the time and always being with his older siblings, it just really
he was
for
the
him.
youngest, but almost everybody that we were involved with was older. So
he's a different breed. Like when I think when I had him on the shows when I first actually, because we had spoke very briefly prior, and he was actually referred to me by one of my really good friends, Jay, and so he was, they painted a mural together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so he was like, you should get Cap G on the show. He's a really good rapper, but I get that like all the time. But then I was like, okay, well, let me see. He was very nice, very well mannered.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
He is.
I'll take credit for that.
And I remember. You guys, I swear on everything. I remember messaging him because the person that I was supposed to record with that Monday had to cancel abruptly. And I was already planning on having Cap G on the show. We call him Marcelo Cap G.
Cap G.
Okay.
Nobody calls him Marcelo.
Nobody calls him Marcelo,
Yeah.
right? And I just messaged him and I said, hey, are you still down? Like, I have studio time tomorrow. Would you want to do it? Yeah. And I was like, send me the links to your music. Because I had not heard his music prior.
Oh, okay.
And when I was listening, so I was like, okay, it's probably going to be like one of those, everything. No, it was so different. Like, it reminded me of the music that I grew up on.
Oh,
because,
okay.
like, it wasn't all, again, like women squirting in your
Body
face. Like,
parts,
you know what I mean? It was like, or cheating on your wife. It was like really about like just real life things and like experiences, and his verbiage is so out of this world.
He loves words.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Loves words.
And I feel like that's what makes him such a great rapper, and that's what we lack. I feel like now, I'm not saying that everybody in town's a bad rapper. I've had some really great musicians on my show. And there's some really great rappers out there who I would love to have on the show in the future. But I'm also saying that he has really, really great wordplay that I don't think gets the proper recognition. And I think that's what makes him such a great artist.
Well, that would be his dad. His dad's over here. They're the family, the Lozano family is really all scholarly and things that, like our oldest daughter just graduated Saturday for college. So, but we don't make big to-dos about it. This being our 200th episode, we didn't throw a party, we didn't do any of that.
Like, no, we're gonna have a guest.
Yeah,
because for us, we feel like we're not out here to bang a gong and to be in your face and to say, this is me, look at me, who am I, type thing. We're here to make a difference and to change people and
be authentic.
Yeah,
Right.
to be authentic, kind of like you said, with our son, he's a different breed.
Yes.
We always say the Lozanos are a different breed because they breed outside the box thinking, and that's really us. And that's why I said, Riverside, here at Riverside, we're very different. We're not frowned upon. We're just very different.
Will I find my man here? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah, I think I need to start dating church guys. I do. I think I need to date a guy who has no business nowhere, nothing, who's ugly. You know what I mean?
Listen, we always
Don't
tell.
get the lazy one. I heard about the lazy.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of those.
I watched that episode.
I'm tired of picking them up. I'm so tired of picking them up. And you don't have a car.
Yeah,
and then they want me to pick them up at like 4 in the morning. I'm like, I'm tired. You know what I mean?
Listen, that's a girl thing too. So I'm just saying. What did we say? What did somebody say the other day? Women are just crazy.
Yeah,
women are just crazy. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And he's actually married, and he said that. He said, "Listen, if you'll just get it through your head, women are crazy. Then we can all be happy, and we can make things happen."
Can I come to your house sometime? It's like, my wife's home. God, tell her to leave. Doesn't she got shopping? You know what I mean? No, but no, I really do want to use the opportunity. When you said Lozano, I should have known that. And I think your daughter might have even told me that. Or somebody might have even said that to sister. But I really enjoyed having Cap G on The Public Affair. Like, I really, really feel like if he stays grounded and he stays consistent, he can really go places.
Okay.
We can. I'm going to see that kid.
Yeah, we really push. I've always pushed my kids younger, when they were younger, growing up. Always be authentic, be genuine.
Yeah, he is. Good job.
Educate yourself, not just going to college, but continue to educate yourself all the time. Read books, listen to podcasts, listen to TV like all the time.
But not just him, all of our kids.
Yeah, all of our kids.
All of our kids are very.
They're all doing all sorts of stuff.
I will just say unapologetically that I think that there's a lot of up and coming rappers that should do their homework and should listen to Cap G. And really feel, I do, because Cap G's bringing something different to the table. He really is. Like, again, it's not all club, booty bopping music, your vagina's in my face, this and that. I got your girl pregnant. Like, it's different. It's so different. It's the wordplay. It's the verbiage. It captures you. It sucks you in. I was shaking when I was like, this guy is going to be on my show tomorrow. And he's probably like, I'm going to be on the public. Like, I was like, no, I'm like, please. Do you need some more water? Are you good? Whatever that. He bought me this weird tea. tea. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he
Yeah,
drinks-
yerba
yeah,
mate. He loves his yerba
Yeah,
mate.
he does.
Yeah, when he first started rapping,
Gonna say that.
he came and he was like, "Man, what do you think, Dad?" He was going off,
Yeah,
and I was
I
like,
was just gonna say that.
That's pretty tight, man."
Yeah.
He goes, "What do you think?" I said, "I don't think you said anything."
Yeah, he did mention that. He mentioned that on the show.
I'm like,
yeah.
he would
There was
always
no
come back and
content.
I'm like,
It's just
bro,
empty words.
I said, "It's super shallow, bro. Like, you're not saying nothing. Everything's cool, but you're not saying nothing." And that's one of the things that we always try to bring, with our podcast when we do things is we like having fun.
Right.
Like, we love having fun.
Yeah.
But
That's why I have my cup today. I'll talk about it in a few minutes.
we love having fun, but there has to be depth.
Okay.
There has to be some depth in what you're doing and what you're sharing. Don't just. There's enough noise out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be just another loud.
Right,
You know,
got you.
bring some bring something that somebody can walk away with. One of the things we tell folks at the church, we tell our leaders, I tell all my leaders, people that I work with, people that I coach, tell my kids. I've been saying this forever. Is when you come in contact with somebody in a relationship, when you have connection with somebody, always leave them better than you found them.
Yep.
Okay.
Always make sure that they're better than you found them.
Right.
And so that's kind of like that's what you experience. And that's what we're like, man. You guys have to really because you know how long you're going to know them. You don't know how long you're going to be around.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely, I agree with you.
Yeah. And that's what you experience. That's it. Like, man, make sure that you not just entertain people. Your
What
mom is
is
going.
up with this
Your mom is going
thing?
off
Cap G, get your mom.
She's always getting after me for that.
Yes.
She always get after me.
Listen.
Take your phone.
I'm up. I
Scandal on the
promise.
Riverside Community Podcast. What's going on here?
Listen, y'all. I just want to say that I'm up, and I do allow my alarm to go off like at least 20 times before I do get up because.
Are you one of those?
Yes, because
I
if
would divorce you. I would.
I cannot get up with just one time and just be like,
No.
I'm ready to go. I
That's
can't.
why you have to set your alarm as a song.
I
As a
did that too,
song.
but then it
No,
wakes him
dude,
up, and
too
I'm just
bad.
like,
I'll lay there in bed. I'm like, please get your
he's
phone.
like,
No.
your phone.
Well, that's why I'm happy I live by myself because nobody says nothing. I go home and turn the air down as cold as I want to. Shut up.
Well, I try not. I'm the one who usually has to wake him up because it takes him forever. But
I move slow.
Gosh,
Yeah,
no.
The
he
older I
does.
get, the slower I move.
Yeah.
I take my time.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, getting up at 4:30 in the morning for the gym is not the easiest thing, and you try to act like you're used to it, but it's so hard. You know what I mean? Like, well, last week we went to Las Vegas, so I was still like, a little messed up on my because we drove at that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a drive.
it is.
Been there, done that.
It is. Never again.
Yeah,
Never
we
again.
said that too. Once we drove.
We drove
to-
one time, and I was
Yeah,
like,
we were like, never again.
flying from now on.
I don't. Yeah, but unless I'm not flying Spirit, I drive again.
Yeah, us too.
Okay.
What do we always say?
Yeah.
All the trainers,
Spirit and I forget the other
Frontier.
Frontier and Spirit.
Okay.
That's where all the
pilots and training.
Yeah.
pilots and training. That's where all they.
Okay.
Definitely
If you
that.
say, but we can get Spirit tickets for 90 cents, we can just take my card. I think we spent more money on gas though. Like I didn't realize how expensive gas was like
right
in the
now.
middle of the desert.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right
mean?
now, it's very
I never
expensive.
spent $40 filling up my car, and I was like, damn, dude.
Calculate this budget.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't even want to ask how much the Doritos are. Like,
That's okay. No thanks.
Yeah,
I'm good. We're
Thank
good.
you.
I'm
We're
gonna
good.
starve and stop at McDonald's for $1.
And we did.
Yeah,
and
see?
I don't even eat like that no more, but we did eat McDonald's.
You have to.
I kind of missed it. I almost went back to my old ways. You know what I mean? I was like, oh.
No, I
Yes.
won't.
I'm not going to get the quarter pounder cheese with French fries on the side of a McDouble. I'm not going to do that again. Yeah, that's how I used to eat.
See, that's how come I brought my cup today because
Okay.
again we like making fun of that.
I was
But
going to say, what's the purpose
I
of the
know.
cup?
Well, because Washington played Dallas, and my
She was
godson.
watching them.
Yeah,
Oh.
She was watching the highlights when you
Yeah,
came in.
Oh,
my my godson and I, it started as a competition, and he's a Cowboy fan, and I've always been a Redskins fan, and so he was like, Nina, the game's on, okay, and I would just be screaming at the top of my lungs for the Redskins because I knew it annoyed him. So ever since then, I just fell in love with them, and considering that he's Native American, I'm like, yeah, why not, type thing. But then they changed their name, and I'm just like, why did you
what
change
is their
your
name now?
The Washington team,
Washington
football team.
That's it?
A W. you. Yeah, I'm like, winners, okay.
Why did they do that?
Because it's now frowned upon to call them the Redskins because we don't walk around calling people honkies. So you can't call people Redskins.
Oh, I think I get that.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be the Dallas Crackers or, so it's, I mean, it couldn't be that. So we didn't.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Anyway, they did so well. They almost beat them. It was close. So
That's
I was
cute.
just like, I'm just going to take my cup.
But do you still refer to them as the Redskins?
I do.
We do too. Okay.
I do.
I mean, well, shit.
And I have the jersey,
Can you
and I have the
imagine?
cup.
I'm voting for the Washington team.
Yeah, I can.
Can't you? I can't stand PC. I really can't. You know what I mean? I don't do that on my podcast either.
Yeah,
though. That's why, like, you know what? I used to really be scared about some of the content that I was releasing. Like, I remember when I remember when we were releasing episode 3 with my old radio colleague. I say old because I don't work at the radio station anymore. But my old radio colleague at Cutis from Lale. And I remember being so nervous about putting that episode out because we made some really grotesque jokes on that. You know what I mean? Like, some things that were like, these day and age, people might try to cancel me. You know what I mean? And we put it on and it just stopped giving. Like, I was like, oh, well, get over it. I don't have to tell you.
That's why I make him nervous because I'm the one who usually brings in all the content and I don't tell him till we get here because I want it to be authentic. That's why our viewers continue to watch us because we're authentic about what we say, what we do, and we're not trying to be something that we're not. And it was funny because I was thinking about having you and I was like, he's going to ask all these questions and I'm nervous because I'm the one who asks the questions all the time. And I thought to myself, I didn't think it was going to be this conversational, which is great. This is perfect. But to me, I was thinking to myself, you know what? When he asked me who we are and why we did this, I'm going to be like, because we're Waco's other power couple, baby. Because I worked for Chip and Joanna.
Oh, you work for Chip and Joanna?
Yeah, and they're Waco's.
She used to.
Used to. They're Waco's power couple. So I'm like, well, we're Waco's other power couple, you know? So I was just like,
Do you own houses?
No.
Cupcakes? You know, while we're playing though, they have really good cupcakes.
I mean, they do. They do. They have the best, but you got to stand in line.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying about the salsa. You know, all of our followers have been following us. I put down my salsa business so I could try T-shirts, and then somebody just is not just helping us, but Chip and Joe did give me some money to kickstart my salsa business.
Gotcha.
And because of COVID, we weren't able to do it. And so now my son-in-law, we combined forces. That's what I'm going to say. We combined forces and we got our food truck this weekend. And so now we just got to finish it out and we're going to launch hopefully in January. That's what we're believing God for. And we also started our Patreon account for our podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so now our supporters can support us that way because before they can support us by me being an entrepreneur, which we always tease and say our shirts are $39.99 every episode, but they're not. And then I always tell him, you know, I'm a hustler. Mia's Mad Hustle is the name of my business because I get out there and just hustle as much as Cap G does.
Yeah, for sure.
But just saying that to say that now our Patreon is there that our supporters can support him, and now he'll be bringing in some income for that too. Because, you know, let's face it, pastors don't get paid much. So
is that right?
Yeah. I mean, not here because, again, like I said, Riverside, we're very different. We're not all.
When you say that Riverside is very different, I really want you to elaborate.
Okay. We are.
You have to ask some questions, man. That's a loaded question.
Okay, fine. So let me start by saying this. Okay, so I already asked if I could find my man here, and you said no.
I mean, you might. I'm not saying you wouldn't, but I can't say yes or no.
Right,
There's people here.
If you were to say, I found my wife here, I would say, probably, I don't know.
Are the members all like, you know, in this little thing where we're all sleeping with each other? Because if that's the case, I'm in. Okay, no, I was just going to say. I would.
That's the other church.
I'd be so down. Yeah, right? Which one is that one? We can't say, right? Actually, we can't say. Okay, damn. I did go to this one church one time where I did not know. I figured that was the case.
Wow.
You know, because the person, anyway.
Yeah, not this one. We're not like that.
I'm just trying to watch what I say before I get sued because I'm in some really hot water right now. I'm skating on super thin ice with like extra fine. Yeah. No, but I really want to know. Like you've mentioned several times that this church differentiates from different other churches, and you guys are so different. Like what's like why?
I think the biggest thing is we focus more on relationships.
Okay.
More than tradition.
Yep.
More than religion.
Yep.
You say relationships. You're talking about relationships in general, like just a couple.
Yeah, no,
just couples,
making relationships.
friendships.
Like you didn't know us,
okay.
and we didn't know you. But now today, you've learned some things about us that we didn't know, and we learned some things about
So
you.
we really just encourage people just to get out of their comfort zone
zone.
and just get to know people.
Yeah.
See?
Just have folks.
I'm so joining. I'm gonna go up to this guy and I'm gonna be like, "Just get out of your comfort zone. Let's go pray. Let's go to the chapel."
Yeah. So when you think of I don't know your religious or spiritual background, but when most people think of church, it's very religious, very traditional.
Okay.
We kind of kick back on that a lot. I've been in ministry now 20, fixing to be 26
Yeah, I
years.
was going to
wow.
say it's quite a while.
Been doing it for a really long time. I was a police officer before I did that, and got into ministry. Been in it for a long time. Loved the church where I was at. Loved the people.
Right.
But what I realized is a lot of things that churches do are more systematic and fundamental than they are relationship. We love the church itself as a whole. Always says, it's about relationship, not about religion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But when you get involved, the relationship just kind of not really there.
Yeah.
And so when you
They just want you to join so that they can add you to their members list.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to say this,
You
but
say it. I thought there was no rule.
I was
Why
going
are
to
you
say that.
hesitating? Yeah.
I was like, Baptists are really bad for that. You sign up when you're a baby or when you're 12 and you're their member for life.
Right.
And that's not really what a member is here. A member is, let's get to know you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you're really going through.
Right.
And the church doesn't talk about finances, and they don't talk about healing. They do talk about healing, but they don't want you to say out loud what you're believing healing for, or they don't want you to talk about if you're going through a bad relationship or that type of thing. I meant yourself, some of the things you said, you were like, oh, I can say that here, type thing.
Right.
Because other churches are like, oh, you don't talk like that. We don't say that thing, type thing.
Yeah.
But these things are life. And
we strive. For me, that's what I feel like. We strive to meet people right where they're at.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
We're not beating people over the head with the Bible.
No.
Okay.
We're not forcing anybody to change their beliefs. We're not trying to force anybody to change the way that they, how they live, anything like that. We meet you right where you're at. Matter of fact, this past Sunday I was talking about, everybody has house rules, right? And so we just talk about house rules,
Right.
Yeah.
right? It's everybody has their freedom to choose what they want to do.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And all I really do in whenever I'm preaching or sharing my message when I talk to folks, I'll just say, hey, this is what the Bible says. It's up to you. I'm not trying to force anything to you or force anything down your throat.
Gotcha.
And
in the church world, or the is that how you say that? The church world, we're not the norm.
Okay, gotcha.
We're not the norm for most churches, because most churches would be like, no.
So do you find yourself not being involved with a lot of other church groups and right?
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Right, why not?
actually, yes.
Right? They don't so they don't include you
Correct.
in things.
Correct.
Like
Yeah, we have our
overlooked.
tight network of people that I have relationships with.
Yeah.
But when it comes to
Outsiders that don't know
doing
us.
things with a lot of churches, we're not really.
Yeah, they're like, ew, is that church even sanitary? I mean, that's a movie line, by the way. I'm big on movie lines.
okay.
We just tend to be on the outside the box, and we try to meet people right where they're at.
Yeah.
I think you should stay that way. Who cares?
I mean, we're very, and that's the thing that.
Okay.
No, you did. I was just gonna say that was the thing that happened. We've been married 30 years, by the way, last
Sweet.
week. Last week.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm 30 years old. Go ahead.
Hey, all right. See, so we've been married as long as you're old. Is that bad? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would say we're outside the norm, but yes, people do frown upon some of the things that we do. But the one thing that we've worked on the most is to be who we say we're going to be. And before we started the church, somebody said, yes, you're going to start a church. Great, because we love you guys, but the one thing we asked is that y'all remain authentic and remain.
Like, don't fall into the gimmick.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, which we
you.
didn't. And that's so funny because Cap G made a shirt.
Yeah.
And I have to ask him about it. It's a gimmick. And the guy was like,
Yeah.
he was like, that's a gimmick for all y'all to follow.
Well, I feel like everybody is nowadays, too, conditioned to follow a certain type
Yes.
of way. Not even as far as beliefs and stuff, but like the gimmick. You know what I mean? And
I'm real big on. I think I'm real big on. You're talking about what makes us different. I'm real big on checking ourselves as quote unquote Christians.
Yeah.
I more identify myself
As him or he or she. I'm just kidding.
I more identify myself as a follower of Christ
Okay.
more than a Christian. Because
Gotcha.
when I look at Christianity, there's so much that doesn't agree with what the scriptures say.
Right.
And I struggle with that. Like literally, like I'm just like when so you Christian, I'm like,
Yeah. That's a little bit,
I
yeah.
don't know if I fit in that category.
Don't label me.
Not now. When you say, "Well, are you a follower of Christ?" Yes, but there are things that I'm doing that you probably would never do, in the sense of how we treat people, how we relate to people, how we
okay.
reach out to people. I can guarantee you that you could probably list as many churches that you possibly want, the senior pastors, and they probably would not listen to your podcast or have you even just sit in.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, I had Pastor G.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
cool.
He's cool.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
like
he's
Pastor
cool.
G,
And
yeah.
We go way back. I know him for a
And I
minute.
love him. And then, it just, look, guys, I slept with a pastor before. Like, it's, there's a pastor out there who I know is gay. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
and that's
and then
what
they
I'm saying.
preach that it's wrong. And so, like, but it wasn't wrong that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That felt good, didn't it?
There you go.
And so it's like, I don't really pay too much mind to things like that. You know what I mean? Like for instance, when I invited Pastor G on the Public Affair, it's because I knew, like, I didn't know you guys, but I only had heard of him, and I look at him and his backstory, and there was a guy that I worked with, actually, who gave me a little bit of backstory about Pastor G and his past and the things that he did, and I was like, well, I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I did, I liked it. I liked that experience.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he checked me. You know what I mean? Nobody checks Andrew G on his own show. But I felt like there was this different, okay, so at my end, there was this certain aura or paradigm shift for me
And
that I had
that's
to change, whereas he was like, just be yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, Pastor G, I can't be myself with you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then now I know that if I could do that episode different, I could have been more loose. You know what I mean? But just the way that he was talking and his conversation and stuff like that really just had me grounded and just like, he has this way of really just like
Yeah. That's actually us. We when we meet people, or even with the podcast, what we try to do is we try to cause a paradigm shift in your thinking.
Right.
So when I come to the podcast with the topics I come with, I am like, this was just something that I was grocery shopping, driving. Maybe
Right.
I went to sleep and woke up, and I was actually having a conversation with myself and going, I wonder if anybody else thinks like
Right,
this.
yeah.
And so I put it out there for everybody else to start thinking about them. And then I want them to see the process that I went through to lay it all on the
Right.
table and say, okay, well, now let's dissect it. And what is being myself, and what is what the word says, and what is, are the Christians doing?
Okay.
And I'm not saying that I'm not Christian. I just don't want to label like that.
Right.
I want to be authentic in front of people and them say, oh, there's something different about her.
Right.
Same thing you said
Yeah.
about Cap G, And so that's exactly what we try to do, instill in everybody,
Right.
is that paradigm shift so that they're not thinking the same way they were when they left us. In other words, leave them better than you found them.
No, and I agree. Like, I think people are really coy when it comes to expressing their true selves. Do you know what I mean? And I know my dad watches the Public Affair, and he was like, Andrew, there's a lot of things I don't talk to my parents about, and I'll even go back and think, shit, like my mom and dad are gonna watch that. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna know about that.
We have those same thoughts. We're like,
My grandma watches.
Yeah,
so we know.
and so my dad's like, Andrew, you really don't have to put all your business out there, bro, and I always just tell people, like, I'm gonna empty your clip before you can unload it on me, because I am not ashamed to, expose the skeletons in my closet, because I feel like we all kind of go through those similar things, you know what I mean? Like, we've all had that guy come over late at night and screw him and steal their Nintendo, like, you know what I mean? Like, we've all had that pastor that lied and said he worked in insurance, and then he slept with him too. You know what I mean? Or slept with somebody's man. And so I just think those scenarios are funny because it's only something that we see in movies, and then they're really true.
It's real life
and then
stuff.
people are not really talking about it. They're not.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, but
I totally want to talk about it.
most people
They
don't.
don't because they're ashamed. And I was like, I'm not ashamed. Like I at the end of the day, I stayed true to myself, even in said scenarios. You know what I mean? I never lied about who I was. You know what I mean? And nothing's ever happened to me to like influence those events that took place. It just happened.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't believe it happened to me because I just be minding my own business. You know what I mean? I'm just over here
minding my own business.
I'm just over here minding my business. You know, I was talking to my potential side piece earlier because he found out who I was. and I was like, I just want you to really like
forget who I am.
be okay with. No, I want you to know that I would never like expose you. You know what I mean? Like I'm just over here like everybody thinks that I'm all over the place, and I really just want to stay at home and I don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like if it's not the public affair, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because that's become my life now. So, but in said aspect, I have to I want to tell these stories, not with exposing people,
Right.
But it's funny. It's damn funny, and that's why 77 episodes later, and an award later, that's why we are where we are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that's funny.
And that I think that's what makes us, I guess, our church so different is that we're not afraid to put ourselves in positions, in situations that might be compromising to being a pastor.
Okay, gotcha.
I remember Mary Jane.
Yeah.
She braids his hair.
Shout out Mary Jane.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was on my show. You know she was on my show.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
My godson was like, man, you got to do something with your hair. Go see her. So he sets me up an appointment. I go, and I'm sitting there.
Chair?
She does my hair and everything, and then leave. Come back a couple of weeks later. Have her do my hair again, and she's like, how come you didn't tell me you were a pastor?
Yeah.
I was out here giving you all my business.
I'm talking to him like because it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
Right.
I'm not walking around saying I'm a pastor.
Right.
If you know me, then you know who I am. You know what I do.
Right, for sure.
But I'm not walking around.
Well, because then it forces people to make them think that they have to act a certain type of way
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
And you really just want them to be their true, authentic selves.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why as soon as before we started recording this and you said, there's no rules, I was like, bleh. I was like, cool. I didn't know I was pulling up some church. You know what I mean? And then I was like, that's it. Okay, we're good. So I felt comfortable immediately.
That's what I want. And, that's my desire because for me, being a minister, being a pastor and all that,
right.
Being a believer, I think it's more important to meet people where they're at than trying to get them to believe the way that I believe.
Okay.
I think that's more important because at the end of the day, there are people that say they believe the way I do, but they really don't.
I got you.
know?
Oh, I know.
And so,
I know it.
so I struggle with that. And then that's where a lot of the struggle comes with in leading because now I'm a quote unquote spiritual leader in the community, but yet I don't lead the way everybody else does. I don't have conversations with people that everybody else does. And I try to really just try to make the church, our gathering, just a place for people to be able to grow,
right.
Be challenged spiritually, be challenged mentally, be challenged emotionally, leave different, think different, and reevaluate literally like when you walked in, this is where you're thinking, how you're living, and then walk out like, well, maybe I need to readjust some things,
cool.
look at some things a little bit different, but never like, this is what you're doing wrong, and like, because I got issues myself. I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, I got more issues than Life magazine.
Yeah, he always says that.
Don't we all though? That's why we all go through the same thing. Like, you know what? Like, it's become annoying to me is talking about money. So everybody thinks because I have this great podcast that I'm rich now, and I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
Okay, because
that's okay. Us
we're
too.
all on the struggle bus together.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
people have gotten comfortable asking me for money and shit. And I'm like, no. You know, so
It's the same with us, and so I was thinking about it when you just said something. It just clicked in me. If you go back and listen to our first episodes, I was reading from a script because I never been on a podcast. I didn't know anything. Even though my voice, everybody tells me all the time, you should have been a radio DJ. You're like great. Your voice is great.
Don't do it.
I won't.
Don't do it.
I won't. But
you're doing the right thing.
But when he asked me to be on the podcast, I was like, what am I supposed to say? I'm introvert. I like being at home. I don't like being out and, all that stuff. And so when he asked me, I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was like, well, nobody's going to be in front of us. But then when it went out on TV, I was like, can we just stop now? I don't want to do that no more, you know. And then we did it, and it was fun, and we kept going. And now that I think about it more and the topics that I bring, I'm like, I want people to leave with a different mindset. I do want them to, because that's something you always say, you try to, you know, think of how to change their thinking. And that's the one thing, if I could say anything about in the 200 episodes we've done, I would hope that some of the people would have changed their thinking about some of the things that the way they deal with things, the way they process information, the way they, you know, just live life. Yeah, perspective.
I just can't wait till I get to 200 episodes. It's gonna be so great. I didn't think I'd get to no damn 80.
Yeah, well, we didn't think we'd get past 50 or 30.
We were just going.
Yeah.
And the idea behind our podcast, really, it started off because I was trying to. So you got to keep in mind, I've been when we started the church, and we started the church and the podcast about the same time.
Yeah,
so we're
I was going to say
we're 5 years old.
Yeah.
But when we started the podcast, the whole purpose of the podcast was so that I didn't have to meet with people all the time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was, hey, Pastor, I'm having this issue. I need to talk about this. I'm like, man, let me just do a podcast and talk
that
about
item,
it. And then I can be like, yo, just check out this podcast.
Isn't it
check out this
great?
episode.
Yeah.
And so that's how we started. And then we still do that.
Yeah, we still refer it.
But the funny thing about it is that it's gotten to where now we just talk about so many things that we're having fun with talking with the topics and addressing different things. To now it's like people are actually watching us for entertainment.
Right, yeah.
Well, my daughter says that I carry the show.
There you go.
That wasn't
says
even
I'm
the
comedian.
purpose. And so going back to like people think that you have this finances and all these things.
Rich.
But most people don't realize that where we're at right now, we've just our congregation, our members, they're the ones that
Support
finance
us. Yeah, they
90% of
Yes.
everything that we do.
Gotcha.
You know, I don't even get paid.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even paid. Like I'm here grinding like everybody else.
Right, for sure.
You know, and so I think that there's a huge to me, I just feel like there's a huge disconnect and misconception when people see success
Gotcha.
that they think that there's automatically dollars.
No.
I
there's
wish.
work.
No, I really can't wait till I can just live on the beach and eat sushi and drink
Mai
margaritas all
Tais,
day.
you
That's
know,
it. Like,
whatever.
I'm looking forward to it. As for right now, no, that's not the case. But I'm just having fun doing the public affair.
Yeah, and I
I
think that's what it should be. And
Yeah.
I think that's why, you know, being nervous to step out onto the podcast, and then now it's broadened my funniness that I didn't even know I had inside there, because I used to be really uptight and stressed and more was like sleeping with the enemy type
got
thing.
you.
And so now that the podcast came and we're at our 200th episode, now we're getting ready to launch the food truck. And I'm like, oh, I'm so ready because all these people are going to be there. And I'm like, all these people, you know, type thing. But I'm just like, okay, I don't have to be funny on there, but I can serve some salsa.
It's gonna be great. I actually can't wait to try your food truck.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
I'm going to get you some salsa.
You better.
I will.
Is it
I
keto
will.
salsa?
It is.
It is.
Keto
Okay.
friendly.
Well, I don't really like follow the keto diet.
But that's okay.
But we can do it. I'll try it. I'm gonna try it. Yeah.
Okay. And then if you need to have me on the public affair, it's fine.
Yes. Okay. What's
It's fine. It's okay. I'll take it. Okay. Well.
Yeah,
what do you got?
man, I
Are we
appreciate-
going to talk about our giveaway? Actually, let me talk about the
we doing
Patreon. We are for the 200th episode.
are
I thought
we?
we talked about it.
Oh, okay.
He's like, damn, we just got done talking about
I was
finances.
Like,
Okay.
let me just pull that out the hat.
She always does that. She'll pull some out. I was like, oh yeah.
Are we? I was going to say that you need to explain the Patreon because I
You
can't.
pretty much explained it. It was great.
Well, but there's levels, and I want to tell the people that have been wanting to support us for a while because they had no way to give to us other than our Cash App.
Okay.
And now our Patreon is on what platform can you find that?
It's on its own platform. It's
You have
on-
to go to Patreon,
No, you have to go to your app store.
Okay.
your app store, download Patreon, and look up
Riverside Weekly.
Okay, and then...
Or you can just type in Riverside Weekly, Patreon
There you
Riverside
go.
Weekly.
There you go.
And you can find us on...
Let me wind you up. There you
I'll
go.
make it even easier.
Okay.
Click the link on the bottom of the description. And
Imagine
or somewhere
that.
here.
But what do
I'll
we
put it up
get for
here.
donating to the Patreon? Do we get
Yeah.
exclusive content?
Yes, we do,
Exclusive,
actually.
that's exactly what
Like,
it is.
Yes.
like 3 X's? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about 3 X's, maybe 2.5.
Because I'm so donating if that's the case.
This is actually like bloopers and things like conversations we have in the car. Remember I said, I talk to myself about some of the things that happen, and then I'll have this conversation in my head and then be like, yeah, or something. He'll be like, what was all that? And I'm like, well, let me tell you how I got there. And I went from here to here to here to here to here to here and there. And that whole conversation is now in the car and being recorded. And it's kind of weird because we've always said that if we had a reality TV show, people probably would follow us because there's a lot of things we don't talk about on here, that you could talk about in reality.
Right.
But that's the extra content.
Yeah, we have. I do. What you call
Coaching. You do
I
mentoring.
I
you do
but
coaching.
I hate saying I do life coaching. Let me tell you why I hate saying
I
it.
think people need that. Yeah.
Yes, they
Well,
do.
the reason I hate saying life coaching is because it becomes so trendy.
Gotcha.
okay.
But
That makes sense.
I've been doing it for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before it was trendy, I was doing
You were
that.
doing it, yeah.
You were country before it was cool, babe. It's okay. It's okay.
But so with the Patreon, I have coaching sessions that you can get twice a month for some, 1 month for some. There's different.
Yeah, there's different
tiers.
levels, different
When
tiers.
you go on,
That's
when you click the link, you'll see the different tiers.
Gotcha.
And so there's just some things that I do. Like I'll work with CEOs. I work with ministers, pastors, teams. Like I'll work with different
or
folks.
individuals.
Business owners. You don't have to be a business, or you can just be an individual.
Yeah, just an individual that wants some, not counseling,
a lot
but
of-
coaching and mentoring.
Yeah, so I
Because
don't-
counseling, you just need to go see a
I don't be
counselor.
messing with. I'm probably one of the few pastors like
don't like
they
counseling.
text me or call me. Hey, do you do counseling? I'm like,
For $4,500, he'll do your
I
counseling.
really don't like doing
Pay this
counseling.
mortgage.
Yeah.
Well, it's because with counseling, it gets real gray real fast, and it's real tough because
Gotcha.
there's counseling and then there's pastoring.
Okay. So there's a difference.
There's completely different.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the issues that I have. With
Okay.
some of the
Counselors are
church
like
stuff.
lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
Pastors are not.
Been there,
So,
done
you
that.
know.
So I don't really do counseling, but I'll do coaching, mentoring, I'll do training, do some teaching. Kind of going by what I said before is like one of my main goals with doing that is just trying to help people be better. One of my things is to help you be better for the
Right.
people that are in your life,
Gotcha.
Okay.
so that they have a better version of you.
I can think of several people that I may refer to.
There you go. You see?
Yes. I can think of several people.
There you go.
And so that's what with the Patreon. That's just some stuff that we have on the
Okay.
side.
Yeah.
I've been coaching for almost 15 years.
Jeez.
A lot of it was just kind of behind the scenes
Right.
with doing a lot of youth pastors and youth leaders and workshops, or youth groups and workshops, and did pastoral type stuff. And got the last 7 years, I got more in the marketplace.
Okay.
Where I've been doing that more in the marketplace.
Sweet.
So now you can subscribe and pay the different tier amounts, right?
Yeah.
The $5, the
Starts at $5.
okay,
$5 is
$5,
super easy.
Yeah.
and then
It goes all the way up to $150.
okay. So there you go. You can just go look at it yourself. Click on the link. You can support
here. I'll put it up
us,
here.
or you can support him. Now that I'll do the food truck. I'm just kidding, babe. I'm just kidding. But
Kids
you,
need shoes.
Yeah.
No.
y'all don't even have kids. I mean,
grandkids
yeah.
need shoes.
Okay, yeah. We need shoes. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, you can support us that way because people have always asked, how can they support us? And as far as for the 200th episode, we talked about this, but I don't know that you were in agreement with
I
it.
don't
So
know.
I'm just going to pull it out the hat there. We are going to give away $200 for our
Oh, we're giving away
200th episode.
$200.
We can't do 200 cars.
Okay.
He was like, man, I wanted to be on
$200.
that. So we do understand that
How
it's
are we gonna do that?
Christmas.
How are we going to do that?
I don't know. You'll just have to stay tuned. Because last week we did the same thing, remember? We told you guys that we were going to tell you who the winner was, and we didn't. We waited till late that night or the next
You can see
morning.
we're super organized on how we're doing
I know.
this, right?
Actually, if you see the look on his face, he's got the deer in the headlights look because he
like,
doesn't know about
shoot.
it. He's like, oh, okay.
All right.
That's my thing. I love surprising him. Like my shirt. He didn't know I was going to wear it. I hid it until then, and I was like, ha, ha, ha. It was funny. So I liked it. Anyway, so stay tuned, and I'm not sure how we're going to do it. Maybe throw a comment in there if you're watching.
Watch our social media. We're going to give $200 away.
Okay.
Because we're not going to
We'll do
be.
that.
This is our last
Episode for the year. Yeah.
So we're done. We'll see you guys in January,
It's okay.
season 5.
Woo-woo!
Man, thank you. Thanks
Season
for coming
5.
and hanging out,
Thank you
man.
guys so much for having me.
Yes.
I really appreciate
And,
it.
She's just
and
hanging out with us.
if
It was
you liked
cool.
what you heard today, you can follow him on The Public Affair
Yes.
at...
So at The Public Affair on Facebook and Instagram, and then on YouTube at The Public Affair.
Man, we're
Wow.
gonna drop all his links on our
Yes,
Yes,
description.
don't forget to subscribe. New episode every single Monday.
Okay, what's the episode that's coming up, you said?
Okay, so right now we have episode 76 with my old radio colleagues. DJ Junie, DJ Mas Loco is out right now.
Okay.
And then log on to the Public Affairs Facebook page, follow it to find out who my next guest for Monday is
Oh,
going to be.
nice.
All right, so what I'm going to do, because I watch your show.
Thank you.
I do.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to drop his link in for his next
Oh,
show,
nice.
his last show.
Okay.
cool.
So
and
now
then they'll be able to
click it and go
like,
straight to,
Yes,
go
you'll
straight
love
to
it.
your YouTube.
And that's such a great, you know what? Yes, I really like that because that's such a good, I feel like that's such a good introductory episode to The Public Affair if you've never watched
Oh,
it.
wow.
Because it
Okay.
stays really true to the roots of it being scandalous and funny, and I threw some shade in there, and I'm very unapologetic about that. And the guys were hot. I think I'm going to marry Junie. Junie said that I
saw
can marry
that, yeah.
Yes, he said I can marry him if I give him papers, but then we have to stay married for 3 or 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, because
And so-
now they'll come and get
yeah,
you if
so
you like divorce
which I'm
in a
so
year.
down. So I hope his girlfriend doesn't mind, and that's what we're doing. But go check out this week's episode 76, with DJ Junie, DJ Mas Loco, to see if he accepted my proposal.
Oh, there you go. See?
And
Anyway.
he's hot too. He's
Well,
hot.
thank you guys for joining us for our 200th episode. And again, shout out. I'm glad you won Podcast of the
Thank
Year.
you. I
We are
appreciate
not
that.
haters, by the way. We
Thank
didn't
you.
even know we had gotten nominated. They
Oh, wow.
actually had to DM
Yeah,
us.
they DM'd
So-
us and said, hey, you guys made it to the final round.
We're
I was
like, what?
For what?
For what? And we went. We had a great time. It was fun,
Good deal.
and then we got to hang out with some cool people too. So that was really awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next year.
Oh.
And go to social media right now so you
$200.
$200 to the coolest cat. That would be me. I'm just kidding. Bye.
We
See
see
you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineer provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.